That was a bell, in case you didn't notice. I know you thought you were done with me, but President Mark has asked me to start the meeting today. One last time. Now, throughout this past year, I have worked very hard at trying to, with my jokes, trying to stay away from politics and sex and anything bad like that. But since we are right in the middle of political season, I thought I would share a couple of thoughts with you. What do politicians and diapers have in common? They should both be changed regularly and for the same reason. Now, what's the difference between a politician and a snail? One is slimy, a pest, and leaves a trail everywhere, and the other is a snail. Now, I know this is a little bit off the subject, but I have often wondered what my parents did to stave off boredom before the internet. So I asked my 17 brothers and sisters, and they didn't know either. For your information, we will no longer have a piano in the room at the Ramada to start our meeting. So today, and possibly going forward, we will say the Pledge of Allegiance. Well, we also don't have a flag, and here is the smallest flag you have ever seen. So let's say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Kirk Johnson is going to share a Rotary Minute and also do guest introductions for us.
Thank you, Pastor President Briggs. Each week we give a book to the library of Ross Elementary School. We do this because one of the overriding goals of Rotary International is to promote literacy. We give it to Ross Elementary School because it is a school that is located in one of the most economically challenged areas of our city. Ross Elementary was named after Merrill and Barbara Ross. Many of our members knew Merrill Ross and probably knew him better than I do. But many members, newer members, did not know or did not know him. I'd like to spend a minute to introduce newer members to Merrill, who was a 45-year member of our club and was a Paul Harris Fellow. He died in 2002. Merrill was born in 1919 in Flat Lake, Kentucky. He received his bachelor's and postgraduate degrees from Pittsburgh State University. After teaching in Fort Scott a couple years, Merrill moved to Topeka in 1944, and 2 months later he was inducted into the Army. Ross became a fighter pilot with the Army Air Corps and was a member of the Tuskegee Airmen. A highlight of Merrill's life, later life, was being able to participate as an honored guest in the inauguration of Barack Obama, along with other surviving Tuskegee Airmen. Merrill returned to Topeka after World War II and taught at all 4 black elementary schools prior to the days of Brown versus Board of Education. He was principal at Washington Elementary, Avondale West, Sheldon, and retired as principal at Clinton Heights Elementary. Ross was inducted into the Kansas Teachers Hall of Fame in 1992, and that was the same year he was named as a Paul Harris Fellow by our club. In 1993, he and his wife Barbara were honored by having Highland Park Elementary School renamed in their honor. As a personal note, Merrill was one of those people, you sat down by him and immediately felt comfortable. He kind of personified what a gentleman is or was. He just made you feel good to be around him. So, my minute's up. I hope that when we tell our guest speakers that we're giving them a book in their honor to Ross Elementary School, you'll have a little better sense of pride knowing our association with both the school and Merrill Ross. Now, to the second part. guest introductions. When we introduce guests here at the club, we ask that you stand and we just say hello to you. So as you're introduced, would you please stand up and we'll give you a warm Downtown Topeka Rotary welcome. Our first guest is Diane Bofflet, who is the Together Topeka Executive Director, and she is a guest of Melissa Mason.
Hi, Diane.
Our second guest is Emma Prue. She is a YMCA intern, and she is the guest of Kathleen.
YW.
I'm so sorry. And then finally, we have Betty Stevens, who is a guest of David Beck, and she is a retired public administrator, and we're sort of short-tailed cousins or something. Right. Are there any guests we've missed? One's phoning in.
Irene Hall with Dynamic Computer Solutions. She's a guest of mine.
Hi, Irene. Anyone else? All right, thank you.
Thank you, Kirk. We're so glad to have all of our guests here today. This month, starting now, is July, and our July featured charity is celebrating 30 years of women in Rotary. And this, I believe, is an initiative that District Governor Blanche Parks has started. And the money that we raise will be used for hygiene kits to support women in need in disaster areas and underserved countries. And with that, I would invite Mark and I guess Joni to the stage.
Thank you, Grace, for passing the gavel that we don't have here today. It's a privilege to take over in your shoes and shadow. All year long, I heard that Grace was going to be a tough act to follow, and I agree. And it's a big job, and she did a great job with it, so we'd like to honor her today. Joni's got a few things to share. Here's our gavel.
Well, Grace, you have been awesome, just phenomenal. And we want to end the year right and a reflection of how you served the club this past year. So we have a few little mementos for you that we would like you to open so all of the members can share.
This could be a problem, so be prepared. Paper.
Okay.
Expect you to wear those?
Is this like for my...
Yes. Tell me this is a hat.
Yes.
This is going to mess up my hair. You have no idea.
This is right.
Yep. That's it.
She keeps looking at me.
Oh, look at that. Rotarian at work is crossed out and it says having fun. Thank you. It has been an honor. My biggest honor of the year is to pass this gavel to our new president, Mark DeGroff.
Thank you, Grace. Grace really put the fun back in the four-way test, and so now we have a 4.5-way test, and a number of things that Grace enacted that the last year we're going to keep, and we're going to continue having a lot of fun together. Today it's my honor to introduce David Beck, who has a distinguished couple of guests with him that he'd like to introduce as well.
Thank you, new President Mark. Congratulations to you as well. This is a real honor for me as well to introduce our Global Grant Scholarship recipient. Genevieve Akins is an outstanding candidate for this global grant. She graduated valedictorian of her class at Topeka West in 2014. Graduated magna cum laude from St. Olaf College this year with a degree in political science and women's and gender studies. She's also a very accomplished violinist, a member of the St. Olaf Orchestra, performed nationally and internationally with them. Worked with the second grade students learning to read and write, another one of our areas of focus, as Kurt mentioned. And served as an au pair in Spain this past summer of 2017. She has an amazing resume and list of accomplishments. Those are just a few of the highlights. That she's already accomplished this young, this early in her life. Rotary International awards the Global Grant Scholarship to applicants that it believes will have a long-lasting impact on helping Rotary with its major goals and areas of focus. And Genevieve's scholarship and career goals are perfectly aligned with Rotary's peace and conflict prevention resolution area of focus. This grant will help Genevieve to pursue a Master's of Science in Equality Studies at University College Dublin. Then after obtaining her MS in Dublin, she hopes to work in the nonprofit sector as an advocate for human rights and positive peace. I'm going to quote Genevieve's scholarship application, because she said it better than I could. Throughout my life, I have been passionate about conflict prevention and peace. Prior to entering college, I read extensively on topics ranging from comparative analysis of global education systems to studies of peace processes around the world to biographies of political leaders and activists. In college, I was fortunate to be able to tailor my major to support my interest in human rights and international law with classes on global interdependence, conflict resolution, and human rights. My junior year, I chose to study abroad in Northern Ireland, studying the conflict there and the process towards positive peace, as well as participating in an internship with a human rights organization. These experiences solidify my belief that in an increasingly interconnected world, learning about other cultures and perspectives in a meaningful way is critical. It's my opinion that as a global society, we need to transform not only our views on and attitude towards others, but also how we react to conflict. It is crucial that in working towards positive peace, we also determine and learn how to solve the underlying causes of conflict, such as poverty, ethnic tensions, and inequality. I'm very pleased to present this Rotary Global Grant Scholarship in the amount of $41,440 to Genevieve Akins.
I'm absolutely delighted to have this opportunity, and I can't wait to study human rights and conflict prevention in Dublin. It's always been a dream of mine, and thank you so much for all of your help and support.
We have an actual letter, award letter, but somehow it didn't get here. So we assure you that it is official. There's a couple of, she hasn't made her plane reservation yet, though. I'm real sure. I wanted to also introduce Genevieve's mother, Deborah Akins, who is here with her. And Betty Stevens, who was introduced earlier, is on the district scholarship committee. Yeah. Joni Underwood and Grace Morrison also served on our committee and involved in the interview process. Thank them for their participation. Well, before I leave, there's a couple of other people that I wanted to recognize. Thea Fleisch is our Rotary Exchange student here for the past year almost. And this will be her last time to go. She just got back from a cross-country bus trip all around the country, and she'll be leaving next week to go back home to Belgium. And two of her host siblings are with her as well, Avery and Brandon.
Thank you, David, and congratulations, Genevieve. Well deserved, and we're excited to hear updates of your travels and studies and how things are going for you in Europe for the next several years. Today we have a couple of proposed new member announcements. We have one community member, Bradley Hopper, with Hopper Design Works. He's sponsored by me, and I will speak for him. We also have a new business membership to come in. Jeff Pavone, who's general manager, and Stephanie Glasson, who's director of sales from the Cyrus Hotel, are both sponsored by Gordon Lansford, and so I just wanted to read those names. Today we also have a Rotary toast, and we are going to continue that tradition. Today, if you would join me in raising your glasses. This toast goes to the Rotary Club of Dublin Fingal in Ireland. They have 30 members, and they are the local sponsoring club of Genevieve. They're in District 1160, and they have President Michael Kennedy there this year. Hear, hear. We have one red badge to present to a brand new member, and it's my honor to present my wife, Allison Peterson, with her red badge today. If you come up here, I'd love to hand it off to you. She greeted that way when she came in, and I told her, I promised her that I don't greet every new member that way. Allison is Director of Communications and Membership with the Kansas Medical Society and has worked there for more than 25 years now. She's a brand new family member of our club. With that said, it's my honor to introduce Frank Henderson.
Well, good afternoon. It's my great honor to do a formal introduction of our president, Mr. Mark DeGroff. I've known Mark for, I was sitting there talking, probably 8 or 9 years, and he has been a handy guy to have around the Topeka Rescue Mission. And he probably thinks, how many rows will I fill there? But he's kind of been our get-it-done guy, so whenever we needed something done, we can count on Mark for getting the job done. How many of you have seen the Children's Palace Playground? And some of you probably helped and worked on that. During that whole process, we were in a situation where an individual that was supposed to be heading up all the materials was unable to do that. And we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars of materials, from lumber to screws to everything. And we say, Mark, can you do that? He's like, sure. And he jumped right in and got the job done, and we have a fantastic playground. Thank you, Mark. Well, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mark. Mark was born in Lawrence, grew up in Lawrence. I think he's really a wildcat, though. Not really. He's a diehard Jayhawk. And grew up in Lawrence and also in Ottawa and on a farm and ranch working the summers for his grandfather in southwest Iowa. He was graduated from Washburn Rural after his family moved to Topeka. His great-grandfather on his dad's side was the first Ford dealer west of the Mississippi. So that's quite phenomenal. The Great Depression hit and he lost everything and had to sell because he had sold many vehicles on credit. He became homeless and last stayed in City Union Mission in Kansas City, Missouri, before coming home to live with his dad's family. And that's when Mark's dad was just a child. Now Mark is the oldest of 4 siblings and married to his high school sweetheart Allison, which we just saw. And I know that's his heartthrob, and Allison's a beautiful lady. And they met in a youth group here in Topeka. Now Allison's grandfather Leon was president of the Downtown Rotary Club in Topeka, beginning his term in July of 1988. And Allison's father, Dr. Robertson Peterson, is a past president of the Rotary Club of Emporia and former member of this club. So Mark has some deep roots and some deep ties to Rotary. Now he has a bachelor's degree in communications with an emphasis in rhetoric and persuasion theory. Now I hope you understand what that means. I will translate for you. What that means is whatever Mark asks you to do, you might as well say yes, because you're not going to win. Mark worked in advertising and marketing for more than 15 years, including owning his own agency in Kansas City for 9 years. Later worked for Black & Beach and Global Pursuits. Time in Topeka is generally focused on fundraising and communications for several different clients, including the Topeka Rescue Commission, as I mentioned, and the Capper Foundation. He's been on teams that have raised more than $19 million to serve people with disabilities in Kansas and people who are homeless and in poverty in Shawnee County. So I'm very sincere when I say Mark DeGroff is the get-it-done type guy. So it gives me great honor, great pleasure to introduce our president, Topeka Rotary Club, Mr. Mark DeGroff.
Thank you, Frank, and that actually all came from a boss of mine, so that says that much more to you as well. I do want to start by introducing a family who are here today. Allison just accepted her red badge, and you met her. My father-in-law, Dr. Robert Peterson, is a former member of our club and was president of his club in Emporia, and I just really appreciate both of them being here today. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for you two, so thank you. One of my heroes once said, "Kind words can be short and easy to speak, but their echoes are truly endless." That was Mother Teresa, and she's been a lifelong hero of mine. And we all have an opportunity every day to be a hero to somebody. Right now, I'm a hero to an interesting new addition to our family. In no way did we need to be misleading. We do want you, however, to meet Hank. Hank has given us about 0 sleep for the last 3 nights. He came home Monday. And to share Hank's bio very, very briefly, his favorite color is blaze orange. Hank is a specialist in howling, especially late at night and early in the morning. Hank, he's professionally quite accomplished. He believes, as does his lineage, that he will be an adoption counselor, and his special area of focus is going to be pheasants and quail. And Hank is a beautiful addition to our family, and we love him and welcome him home. So, you know, I'm a hero to Hank because I feed him every day, I let him out when he needs to, and right now, I'm all that Hank knows. Every one of us has a chance every day to be a hero or to do something for somebody in that same manner. So today let's talk about who we are as Rotarians. Who are we? We are Rotarians. We work differently. We see the world differently. Our multidisciplinary perspective helps us to see challenges in unique ways. We think differently. We apply leadership and expertise to social issues, and we find unique solutions. We act responsibly. Our passion and perseverance create lasting change. We make a difference at home and around the world. Our members can be found locally here and across the globe. Please stand and continue to stand and be recognized if you are a past president of any Rotary Club, including this Rotary Club. Please stand. If you are a past or current district chair or officer. If you are a Paul Harris Fellow. If you are a board member, past or present, of this club or any other Rotary Club. Also could be a donor to Polio Plus, a committee head, RI Foundation, or the Rotary Club of Topeka Foundation. Please stand if you love giving back and how your heart feels when you serve. Please stand if you're a brand new member, proposed member, or guest. And if you're not already standing, please stand. Please join me in giving the 2.5 billion children worldwide that Rotary has immunized for polio since 1979 a huge, warm ovation. Folks, that is roughly 33 times more children than we have in the United States right now. You did this. You contributed in one way or another to these 2.5 billion children getting vaccinated for polio. Thank you. You may be seated. We all joined Rotary for different reasons. We learned this year at a district information session that on average, 1 to 5 year members join Rotary for networking. 5 to 15 year members join Rotary for the service opportunities. 15 plus year members join Rotary for the social opportunities. Well, there are several specific themes that came out of your most recent survey answers that polled you as a club, you as individual members, and began to assimilate all of that. 1, you asked for more volunteer activities that are accessible outside of Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. 2, you asked for better food and a regular meeting place. We're working on that. 3, you asked for fun programs and quality programs, and thank goodness somebody's in office now doing that, Stan Martindale, who is not going to have people from nonprofits come and speak to you every week, week in and week out like I did. In front of you on your table are some index cards. I would like you to take that. At the top left corner of one side, write your name and write your full name, and then right below that, write down whatever your passion is. It doesn't have to have anything to do with Rotary. It can be the one thing that you most enjoy doing with your time or supporting. Write that down if you would for me. And then below that, in number 3, write down what should we be doing as a club that we're not. So number 1, name. Number 2, passion. Number 3, what should we be doing as a club that we're not. And then on the back of the card, please write down the approximate year that your Rotary journey and story started. We'll give you a minute with those. Yes?
Why don't you repeat
There was
this list of things?
this list of things that we ran through too quickly. Name is number 1. Number 2 is your personal passion. Number 3 is what should the club be doing that we're not doing now. And then on the back of the Rotary card, write down the approximate year that your Rotary story or your Rotary experience began. We're going to work with those, and so leave those on your tables and we'll collect them or give them to Linda on your way out. And everybody who's not here is going to be given the opportunity to respond to those same questions as well. And we're going to put those together in a way and enjoy those and help people embrace their passion this year. So what are we going to do this year? We're going to build in consistency and continuity, including a succession plan and support plans for our most valuable member, Linda Ireland. we are going to make small changes. We won't ask you to change your why I'm in Rotary story, but remember, we are Rotarians. We see the world differently and we act differently. We might just give you, in this next year, a chance to add to your Rotary story. We'll help you embrace your passion, and we are working on a mission, vision, and strategy statement, and we'll come out with those. Joni's doing some great work with that committee now, and we're excited to see how that comes together. It's also not too difficult. It's not rocket scientists. We're going to find a regular place to meet that our club members enjoy and are proud to visit, and are proud to invite guests and speakers to visit us for lunch. We're going to find volunteer opportunities that are outside on Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. We're going to put great programs on. We're going to work on systems and processes that help this club grow into its next phase and communicate the progress of this club and Rotary International so that you all know what you're accomplishing and how you're making a difference. We also, Terry Hobbs, are going to give 501 a firm deadline of July 23rd to schedule career days. So if they do not get back to us with a date by July 23rd, we may not do career dates going forward. We in the past have been involved in actually having to help those parties come together and schedule that, and we're not going to be in that business anymore. We love it, and we believe it's a valuable activity, and we appreciate our history with them, and we're asking them to come together and schedule that date. So what is the future of Rotary? What is the future of our club, our district, and Rotary internationally? A lot of people would say it's Interact and Rotaract. Those two demographics that are represented with those members say they're joining for networking, and they say they're joining for the value of Rotary. Millennials and new members want to see the investment of their member dues and expenses go towards service. They want to see that go toward making a difference in their community. And so we're going to ask this year how we can move toward that model. One big change we're going to make, and we have a committee headed by Yana Ross, who's our leadership star in the district now, but we are going to start a leadership committee and an increased leadership growth opportunities for our club members and the community. We're going to share a vision. Leadership is this committee's passion. She has an incredible group of people who are lining up to be on her committee. Facilitators of the Kansas Leadership Center's program are in our club as club members, so we have incredible resources right here. And the district is already moving in this direction. They've applied for grants in the past, and word is they're going to apply for more this year, and no pressure, but we sure hope that is the case. So what could this committee accomplish? They could help our club members grow, especially our young club members, and this community could develop a common language around leadership and to help us better accomplish our goals as a club as we begin to influence different members of the nonprofit community and different leaders in our community. How do we do that? Please remember, we are Rotarians. We model the way, we inspire a shared vision, we challenge the process, we enable others to act, and we encourage the heart. We also are going to start, thanks to Grace Morrison, a past president's council. And so if you are a past president, Grace will probably be knocking on your door or giving you a phone call when she gets back from Guatemala on this international service trip. And they are going to be established to help us remember the history, much like Kirk helped us today, and to advise our current president and board, and just to help us see the way through and see the way forward. It's going to be organized by the most recent past president, so it will rotate annually. And we want to retain that rich history and the legacy of this club. So our Rotary International president this year, Barry Rassin, said, "Be the inspiration." That's our theme this year. He asked us, you and me, to move Rotary from the reaction stage to an action stage, to be strategic. He said, who are you given a chance to inspire, to encourage, to mentor, and to be strategic and thoughtful about how you go about that? When you consider how limited each of us has a chance to speak and act kindly and build our own Rotary story, how do you want your story to read? And like Mother Teresa, how do you want your story to echo endlessly? Be the Rotarian that your Hank believes you are and loves you for. And let's all go have a lot of fun this year. Thank you. Thank you. The book this week is How Not to Get Tarred and Feathered in Your First Week as President. I'm glad we'll sign that. No, it's Jungle. And discover life in the tropical rainforest, from exotic birds to millions of species of insects. End of meeting announcements. July 19th, next week, we're right back here in the Ramada. We'll be in the Grand Ballroom. The program is Kansas University Medical Center, St. Francis campus. With that, let's stand and say the 4.5-way test, please. Of the things we think, say, or do,